So so I have some really exciting news. So I received a call back for a second interview for the Coder 1 position. Woo! If you haven't seen the video already, I'll post a link up above to the take 2 of a Coder 1 interview. So I received a call yesterday, Thursday, July 26th, from the supervisor of the section of the coding department that this position is for, and I was out gardening and crap, so I didn't have my phone with me, so I missed it. And that was late afternoon. So I tried calling her back, and she did not answer, so I left a message, and I told her I'd be giving her a call today, Friday, July 27th. So it's about 10:40 a.m., so hopefully that's late enough in the morning. Gave her a call. I would just wait and call her this afternoon, but I kind of want to do it right now. So we're going to give her a call, and it's for scheduling a second interview. So hopefully I can have that scheduled for next week before I go back to work. And then hopefully we will find out what the next steps are and if I got the job or not. We'll see. So all right, let's give her a call. And at this point, I'll have to fast forward through all this stuff. You can't hear any of this, so bear with me. Okay, so it went right to voicemail, so we'll give her a little bit of time, but this is exciting! Okay, it's a couple days since I last tried to get in contact with the supervisor that I will be interviewing with for the Coder 1 position, and it's now Monday, July 30th. Did get a hold of her, and we have the interview scheduled for Wednesday, August 1st, so in 2 days, so I will see y'all then. Good morning, everyone. So today, it is the day of the interview. It is about 9:30 in the morning. Of course, the dogs have to bark. As I was saying before I got rudely interrupted by my dogs. So it is about 9:30 right now. The interview is at 1 p.m., so I still have a couple hours. So what I wanted to go over is the questions that I've compiled. These dogs are so frustrating. Okay, let's try this again. So, as I was saying, I have compiled questions that I want to ask in the interview, because usually at the end of the interview, they will ask if you have any questions. So, since I have them on my iPad, I'm going to have my iPad out on my lap so then I can hold it and not move my hands around, and then also to take notes as I need to during the interview. But as far as the questions, I want to go through them because then you can get an idea of what sorts of things I want to know personally, or questions that should probably be asked during an interview. So if you are going into a Coder 1 interview or one of the first interviews you've ever been on, you can get an idea of what sort of things you should ask or things that you should want to know. And since this is a career that I want to be in for the long haul, I have more serious long-term questions that I want to ask, and then also specific to the company, that sort of thing. So I want to know what types of encounters are most common in the specific area of the coding department that this job will be in. From what I can tell, it's more with pediatrics. Also, does this hospital I'm interviewing with offer courses or training for CEUs? And then, do the Coder 1s use just code books, or do they get to use the encoders? I also know the answer to this next question, but I'd like an update on it. So, do they use Epic as their EHR, electronic health record? And does the encoder and the coding happen through Epic or from a separate program? From what I heard from my coworker, I believe they use Epic, but they use a different program for the coding and the encoder, and they are making the switch over to doing everything through Epic, which will be happening later this year, but I want an update and more detail on it. and this is specific to me, and the long-term long haul that I would like to know is what is the suggested route to inpatient coding or PCS coding. I kind of know this next one, but I'd like more clarification and confirmation of it. What are the requirements to move to remote coding? Also, this is very specific to me. So since I already got to go into the OR at my current hospital and observe, I would like to know if I can do the same thing at this new hospital. So are there opportunities for me to observe surgeries, or would I have to contact the OR department personally and ask them and do all of that on my own? But that's also to let her know that I am very motivated to learn and I want a hands-on experience to help me code better. So that's just a good thing for her to know. And then the usual, what is the schedule? What are the hours? What is the wage? That sort of thing. I know that it's full-time, but for clarification, is that 40 hours a week? And is it specifically Monday through Friday, or do we have some flexibility like Sunday through Thursday or whatever? And then do we get to pick our hours within the day? How does that all work? What flexibility is there? And the job posting and the description did not give the wage, so I have no idea what they are offering to pay me if I were to get, to get this job. So I would like to know. It's going to be more than what I make right now, but it's good to know because then I can already start calculating my new budget for things. So those are all the questions I have. More than likely, half of those questions will already be answered during the discussion we'll be having. And then at the end, I'll just go through, see which ones didn't get answered, and then ask her. So I will bring you along like I did last time. And then when I'm done, I will give you an update on what was all covered, the answers to some of those questions, because hopefully I'll be able to take notes really quick. And I will be giving you the wage and all of that, so you can get an idea of what, at least in the Midwest, or specifically in Wisconsin, the average entry-level base pay is for a Coder 1, because that's very informative. So I'll see you in a little bit. Day. Didn't have time to do a sit down about how the interview went, but the interview went very well. The interview was pretty standard. They asked very specific questions, and a lot of it was, what is your experience with coding? What is your experience with Epic? What is your experience with Excel and Outlook? Very specific to that. And then there were just a few more interviewee questions. And overall it went well. I had my iPad on my lap, so I was holding on to it. I didn't do too many hand gestures that I am aware of, but the supervisor and then she had one of the leads in with her, and they were both very laid back, very nice. I don't think they would have been taken aback by any big hand gestures, so they were very nice and it wasn't a big deal. But once we got through their main questions and that sort of stuff, then they asked if I had any questions. So, what types of encounters are most common in this specific area of the department, which is working more with pediatrics, and it covers everything. All sorts of encounters, either in the clinic, in the ER, surgeries, it covers everything, and all sorts of diagnoses. It isn't anything specific, or not like they deal with only complex diseases. So there's a wide variety, just with pediatrics. And then, does this hospital have any courses or training? Yes, they do. Every Wednesday they do courses, or they have speakers come in where you get CEUs for it. So Wednesdays are that dedicated day for that, and they do offer CEUs, which is great. And then, do they provide current code books? Do they use encoders? All of that. When you start out, you use code books, they provide them to you, and then at a certain point, then you do move to an encoder. So that's good to know. Is Epic used for the EHR? And then Do they have something specific or separate for an encoder? This was very interesting. So they use Epic for the EHR, but what's very interesting is the pediatric section is separate from the adult section. And the adult section is merging both Epic and the encoder, so they're going to use Epic all as one. But on the children's side, or the pediatric side, they are not doing that, and as far as the supervisor knew, she didn't hear of any word that they were ever going to make that change. So they still have to use Epic for the HR and use a separate encoder and a separate program for the encoder and then the actual coding billing. Which I thought was very interesting that they aren't going to be making the transition like the adult side. I thought that was interesting. But that was good to know, so I got an update on that. Very weird. I don't know. What is the suggested route to inpatient coding or PCS coding? From what I gathered from them, and what they basically said is, as you work through this job, they will continually add in more complex encounters for you to work on as you progress in your training and then also just in general your career. So it's very gradual, so once you get to the experience level needed to be an inpatient coder, you're already set up to make that transition. You don't need anything else specifically. Good to know. What are the requirements to move to remote coding? Minimum of 6 months on the job, because that is the training window. And then if you are meeting productivity standards, like you've been progressing and doing better, and after your review and they look at how everything has been going and you don't have any errors when being QA'd, that sort of thing, then you get the option, do you want to work remote, how many days a week, and you can decide. But no matter what, you always have to come in 1 day a week, which is Wednesdays, and that's when they do meetings and then the CEUs and learning, all of that. Oh, opportunities to observe surgeries in this pediatric department. It is against HIPAA to do that, so there's no way that I can go into the OR and observe surgeries. So that kind of stinks, but now that I know not to attempt to contact the OR department on my own. I can't do that. And then the hours and the schedule, Monday through Friday, and it's 40 hours a week, just like I thought. They also have a flex schedule where you can work 4 9-hour days and then 1 half day. Most people do that. She said that on Fridays you will rarely see anyone in the afternoon because they all have their flex day and they go home. So it's pretty flexible with the hours and when you want to work, all of that stuff. Now, as far as the wage, very interesting. So the supervisor and the leads have no say and no knowledge of what your wage is. So they were unable to even give me a ballpark range or give me a solid number. When the interview is over, they send all their information over to the HR recruiter I've been working with and then the HR department in general. And if the supervisor and leads decide, yes, we want to hire her, let's make an offer, it's the HR department that creates that offer package and all of that, and then the HR department and the recruiter contact me and give me the offer, and then they work out the details of first day, all of that stuff, and the wage. So I was unable to get a number for you all, but hopefully I will be offered the position. We'll keep our fingers crossed, I hope so. And then when I find out what the wage offer is, then I can let you all know. And I think that's it. And hopefully I will be hearing from the HR department next week, so in a week. That was the one thing I forgot to ask, is when should I expect to hear from them? But I'm going to assume a week. But I will keep y'all updated, so the next time I see ya will be when I hear back from them on if I got the job or not. It has officially been 3 weeks since my last interview. It is Wednesday, August 22nd. And last night I decided to check the career website, and the position status said closed. Like, oh, are you kidding me? Why is it closed? Why would they wait 3 weeks to reject my application? And I had no indication that there were other people actively interviewing for this job and we're in the interview phase, and then they have to wait until the interview phase is done before they notify everyone of, do we pick you or not? I didn't get that indication. So why on earth would they wait 3 weeks to reject an applicant? And I didn't receive any email, because normally I receive an email saying, we are looking at other candidates, or this position has already been filled. For every single position I've applied for and it has been closed, they've always sent an email, except for the billing position. So now I'm like rationalizing, okay, am I still getting the position because my HR recruiter closed out all of the other active positions, so there wouldn't be an email being sent to me saying they chose someone else for those billing positions? I have no idea. But I feel very deflated, so I'm not happy about that, because I have no idea what's going on. And I don't know if the career website just has application received, under review, and then closed. Like, those are the only 3 status things they have. So is it closed and I'm getting an offer, or closed, we chose someone else? I have no idea. There's no key that tells you that. And since I didn't hear from the HR recruiter or get an email, I have no idea. So I texted my friend who works in the coding department, and I don't have the human resources phone number. I never received that number. Thankfully, she gave me the HR number. So I called them this morning, and all they could tell me was what I saw on the screen on the website. So all they could tell me was, oh, it's closed, but we will contact your personal HR recruiter and let her know that you're inquiring about the status, etc., and then she'll get back to you with what's going on. But now I just have a feeling I didn't get it, because why would they close the application if I'm getting an offer? Why would they close it and not notify me? That doesn't make sense. But then why didn't I get an email saying they were choosing someone else, or the position has already been filled? Why didn't I get an email? And why didn't I get the email from the billing positions that I wasn't chosen for those? Why were they just closed silently? I have no idea. So I don't know. I'll let you know when I hear back from the HR recruiter, and hopefully it isn't another week or 2 by the time I get an answer. Ah! Okay, it is Thursday, August 23rd, and I do not have good news. So yesterday, the HR recruiter called me back. I unfortunately missed that phone call, but she called near the end of the business day, so when I tried calling her back, I was unable to get a hold of her. But she was very nice, and in the voicemail, she informed me that I was not chosen for the position, which I kind of figured that's what was going to happen. But she told me that the coding positions at this hospital are very competitive, so I guess they did have a lot of candidates. I just was unaware of that fact. It didn't seem that way, but there were quite a few, I guess. And since it's very competitive, there were other people that had either more experience than me, etc., and the person that they chose had more coding knowledge than I did. But she said that the supervisor thought I interviewed very well, so the interview went fine. I just didn't have the coding experience / knowledge that they wanted or were hoping for. So she gave me her number, which I already had, but she said, give me a call if you have any questions. And I plan on doing that in a little bit, because I want to ask for her advice and her suggestions on what I can do to become a better candidate, or a more qualified candidate, or a more desirable candidate, whatever. Because I want to know, what should I do to have more coding knowledge? Or to at least come off like I have more coding knowledge or more coding experience, because obviously I can't get a coding job because I don't have the experience, so I'm not going to have any on-the-job coding experience to offer. It's not possible right now, unless someone gives me a chance. And aside from that, what do they suggest I do? Because I have my certification, which implies that I'm doing my CEUs to maintain my certification. But aside from that, there really isn't anything else offered. I've already completed the HEMA coding program, so I've done that, which my resume says. So what do you do? Now, since she's an HR recruiter, she'll have more knowledge because she's the one that's actually looking for these candidates and is a part of the hiring process. So she's the best person to ask, what does she look for in a candidate? What are some things that she sees these new coders come in with that ultimately get the job that I don't have? But I'm at a loss as to what to do. And maybe I just didn't bring up my experience and knowledge enough in the second interview, talking about what I'm doing here on YouTube, or more in depth on what I do on a daily basis, or at least at work, to try and apply what I see to coding. I don't even know if that would be helpful. Should I be uploading all of my CEU certificates to my career profile so then it's included as documentation? Because I have my certificate. Should I have like all of my CEU certificates? Be like, hey, this is everything I've done so far. Would that help? But I'm going to talk to the HR recruiter, see what I can glean from her. Hopefully making that connection will help, because they also have another Coder 1 position that just went up on the website. I'm not sure how long ago. I don't think it's been up that long. So I applied to that last night. Hopefully I will get something out of that, and from the information I get from the recruiter will hopefully help me be more successful in this next coding position that I'm applying for. I hope. I really wasn't expecting this. Really wasn't. And I'm not happy about it. Because I don't know what to do. I have no idea what to do. I don't know. So I will come back and relay what I heard from the recruiter so I can help all of you who are in the same boat as me, because I assume there's many of you that are. I know that I'm not the only one. I've read in the forums, and this has been going on for quite a few years now. It's just hard to get into the coding field. I just didn't think it was going to be this hard once certified. I don't know. I will see y'all later. Alright, it is Tuesday, August 28th. I still haven't heard back from the HR recruiter. She's probably busy. Who knows if I'll ever be able to actually contact her. I've been trying to call her, but she's always busy. So hopefully I will get in contact with her at some point in the future to figure out what suggestions she has for me. But who knows? And I also was talking with one of my coworkers who has a relative that actually works at this other hospital. She's a supervisor in one of the coding sections, and I was able to talk with her, and she was actually very surprised that I hadn't gotten a job yet in coding because I'm certified. And she was also very surprised that I didn't get a job in billing either. So she isn't really sure why I haven't gotten anything as of yet. But she did say, which I kind of already knew, but I wasn't really thinking about it, a lot of these coding and even billing positions get filled up by employees that already work in that department that are moving up, so that's why a lot of these positions fill up very quickly, because they're hiring from within first, or they get a lot of applicants from within and they usually choose those. So I can understand in most cases why some of these coding positions get filled very quick with people with more coding knowledge. It's because they already work in the billing positions and are moving up to coding, whatever. But at least she is going to ask around within her coding department and see what she can gather as far as position openings or getting my name out there. I'm going to be emailing her my resume, and she'll hopefully try and help. I really hope. Of course, my camera cut out. Battery died, so I have no idea where this left off. But as I was saying at some point, but what is becoming very, very apparent, and what seems to be really the top reason that people get these coding positions, which I'm not happy about, but it's because they know someone in the department. As long as you know someone in the department, or at least someone who has the ear of the supervisor, or you know the supervisor, you have a very great, very high chance of getting that position. And that is not good to hear, because there are quite a few people, including myself, who don't really know that closely. People in the coding department who have sway in making these decisions. Yes, my friend who I used to work with that works in the coding department at this new hospital, she's new to the department and she doesn't really have much sway in getting my name out there and being persuasive about getting me that job. She doesn't have that. She isn't a supervisor. She's a coder 1. I think she's moving to a coder 2 because she got a higher certification. But either way, but my current coworker who just got a coding position, she knows coders in the department at my current hospital and has known them for a very long time, and that played a very big role in how she got the position. And it seems like everyone I talk to who has gotten a coding position at some point in the past, a lot of it had to do with they knew someone. Yes, they had the knowledge, yes, they had the certifications, but they definitely knew people in the coding department, and that's how they got the position. It's a little disappointing, but all I can tell you all is network as best you can and really get to know these people that are in leadership or supervisory roles. Get to know them more than just being an acquaintance, and try to make an impression on them, because then they will hopefully think of you when a position opens up, or they will be more inclined to pick you when you do apply. So I'm hoping that happens. I've spoken with a couple of my coworkers who have connections in the coding department and see what they can do, even though I technically don't know those people in coding, but my coworkers do, so hopefully they'll be able to float my name around. So we'll see. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I'll keep y'all posted in the future. But I'm keeping my options open, and I'm trying to be hopeful and optimistic, but it's a little frustrating. So subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already, so you can get notifications on all videos that I post, so you're always in the know. Comment below if you have any advice, if you have been through this before, anything related to these topics. Post them in the comments. Let's have a conversation about it. And also like this video if you liked the truthfulness and the realness of it. Oh, all right, I'll see y'all later. Bye.